Monday.
Easy
Everybody have a
time
nice
of year.
weekend.
Yeah.
I did have a good weekend actually. Kind of rested up from a long work week, but been good.
Good.
Nice fun time of the year, right, Jane? Nice and slow, chilling, not a lot of business.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's yep. Taking it slow one day at a time.
Exactly. Marty, good morning.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you. What's going on at the great Florida Gulf Coast?
Just jumped out of I'm on a digital badging transferable skills committee for the university. Very exciting.
Delightful. That sounds very high tech, Marty.
Ooh,
So
that's a solid bullet on the resume.
right. Well, but it's so funny because I sit in these and I'm like, these are all the things that we do inherently through a PGM program or through the associate program. We're creating all these artifacts that they can share to employers and prove their skills. And so I kind of listen and I'm like, all right, whatever, been there, done that. You guys are trying to figure this out. But we're like already really good at communicating with employers, like what our skill sets are for our students. So
Wow. Me.
yeah.
So we have a few that are set to join. I don't know how many will connect, but Shane, I think this is your first time on the call. So just wanted to get you up to, second? Perfect. Okay, good. So, obviously you understand what our goal here is and continuing to help you advance. And if there's anything off this call that we can help you with, please obviously never hesitate to reach out to us.
Yeah, I actually had one question.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Shane, absolutely. Yes.
Sorry, it's saying you lost network connection. Can you hear me? Guys hear me?
We can hear you and see you. Yep.
Perfect. I'll go ahead and
ask
it. So I am obviously currently in the South Florida PGA section in the level 1. My wife is applying to pharmacy residencies. And 2 of the places where she would take us out of the South Florida section. One, it would be in Jacksonville, which I think is the North Florida section, and the other one would be in North Carolina. Not 100% sure what that section would be. We would know more about that move in like the middle of March with potential moving May or June. How do I go about transferring to those different sections and staying in the program?
So Carolinas is the other one. Oh, we lost him. We'll come back and answer that. We had another call or another person jump on though, who's been with us. It's Valeria, correct?
Valeria, yes.
Yes. Hi, everybody.
Hi, how are you?
Valeria, good morning to you.
I'm going to jump back and answer your question, Shane. Very easy. Associates, just like members, can transfer sections through pga.org. There's an online change form. Just let us know if you have any issues with it. We can help with that. The Carolina section would be the North Carolina. They have both states.
Perfect. Awesome.
Good people up there.
Good. Pretty easy transition from section to section. I wouldn't lose anything. I would just obviously report to that section mentor program and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I don't know. I know we are guinea pigs in doing what we're doing, so I don't know. I'm sure they have something similar up there, but they do not have an extensive program. My assumption, like we do, like with monthly calls set out.
Okay. Perfect. Just wanted to ask that because I know we're kind of prepping for potentially moving, but there's potential for us to stay down in West Palm. So,
and where are you at right now?
We're in West Palm Beach.
Okay, and are you at a facility?
Golf Tech.
Okay, perfect.
Palm Beach Gardens.
Awesome.
So Shane, you'll probably elect teaching and coaching as your level 2 career track, I would assume.
So that was another question of mine.
Yes.
I noticed I was looking at the overview of the level 2 options after you complete level 1.
Correct.
And the teaching and coaching just offers obviously teaching and coaching, but the golf operations does teaching and coaching and golf management.
Correct.
And I started to lean more towards teaching and coaching just because that's what I'm doing currently, and I enjoy doing that. But jobs before, I was at a golf course, first assistant, just helping out, cart staff, all that. And I was kind of thinking maybe going down the golf operations route would give me more opportunity to advance if I don't want to stay in just teaching and coaching. Is that something that you would suggest?
Shane, I'm 1,000% behind you.
Awesome.
This golf operations is a safety net. You get everything. You get 3 days of facility management, 2 days of teaching. That's the biggest advantage of all. Teaching and coaching is exclusively, hey, I'm going to own my own academy. This is all I'm going to do. And what happens with teaching and coaching is, let's say down the road, somebody grabs a hold of you. You're a great person. You're a great golf professional. Hey, come to work for me as a director of golf. Well, guess what? You're a great instructor, but you don't have those other skill sets. I always like the full basket of golf ops. I would never divert somebody to go come off teaching and coaching if that's 150%. That's all they want to do. But I think golf ops is definitely the safety net. And that's why majority of our associates go that route.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think you have to make a decision.
Okay. That was kind of
my
thinking with that is like, I would obviously have more potential, working or getting jobs, especially there's a couple of places in North Carolina that we'd move to that don't have a golf tech nearby.
Got it.
So I would obviously have to get a position at a course. And so going down the golf ops and having that management backing would help there too. So,
I'm a fond believer. You all are free agents.
Right.
And, you don't know really what you're going to do yet. Somebody will get a hold of you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, here I am in education. Did I think I was going to be in education? It doesn't matter. Marty sees it every day with her students. You may think, hey, I want private club only. I want public golf course only. I want to be this. But you know what? You meet somebody.
Right.
You meet somebody at the PGA show and say, Shane, have you thought about it? I like you, man. Come to work for me. You're my new head golf professional. Now you start scratching your head. I never even thought about that. So I think if both of you, any of the associates or the golf management students, play the field. You all are young, you're smart, you can play, and you're a free agent. So don't cut yourself short. And I mean that really sincerely. So, if you're undecided on level 2, go golf ops track.
Okay.
It's a safety net and you get everything. Okay?
Awesome.
So what I like to do today, Meredith and Marty, if it's okay with both of you, is just kind of have an open forum and maybe answer any questions that you all have on your mind as far as the curriculum is concerned. I think we're off to a good start. I think Shane's questions were phenomenal. And anything you want to talk about, anything you want me to go over, I'll be more than happy to do that, whether it's the work experience portfolio, whether it's preparation for the exam. And I think you know me well enough now that I'm pretty approachable and I'll shoot really straight with you and really honest. So because the only bad question you can ask is the one that you don't. There's no silly questions. So first of all, how's it going? I know you're working your tail off this season. I'm actually working a couple of days a week from a friend of mine here in Stewart, and we're busy. I mean, it's rocking and rolling, and I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see that we're 100% utilized every single day in a public golf course. I mean, there's people just knocking at the door to play this great game. So who gets all that credit? You all do, for promoting the game, growing the game, making the game fun. So don't ever forget that. The people that you're impacting, whether it's doesn't matter if it's a junior, senior, whoever it is, at the end of the day, you're impacting many, many lives. So don't forget that, please. That's a big part of the brand of us as PGA professionals and PGA associates. So who's on the 561 line? I see a phone number there.
It's Jonathan Lawson.
Hey, Jonathan. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing really well. Thank you. Again, my name is Bill Schiaffoletti. So do you have any questions at all? Would you like me to kind of talk about anything on your mind, Jonathan? I'll start with you and let's just have an open forum here and really learn from each other. How's everything going? How's your job? How's your, I know it's pretty tough working on your PGA books right now. You're probably running 4,000 miles per hour, but how can we help you?
At the moment, I'm just trying to get some insight on, the future of, what can be done as far as, getting past level 1, getting past level 2, getting past level 3. I was thinking, what are the opportunities past that? Like once it's all complete, I'm thinking it will be done in about 2 years. I work about 6 days a week at my golf course down in Delray Beach. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yes.
But no, I was just wondering what the next step is going to be afterwards.
Sure, Jonathan. So what's your status right now? What have you done as far as PGA?
I've already done the test on. I'm already level 1 associate. I'm just working online on the PGA website. That's just about it. I've just been so slammed with work. Haven't really gotten all too far into it.
Understand. So you haven't been to a seminar yet. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So that's, you passed your PAT or have a qualifying score?
Yes.
You're good there. You're registered level 1 associate. So your next step would be, when time permits, probably after season, is attend a virtual level 1 seminar. Get that, get your work. So you attend your seminar for 5 days. You work on your work experience portfolio. We spent a lot of time in class preparing you for the work experience portfolio. Get that approved, and then you test that at level 1. When you're done with level 1, go through the same process, register for level 2, go to a level 2 seminar, test out, and then level 3. And the average person from start to finish takes about 3.5 years from start to finish. And I'm not saying you could do it. You can do it faster. You can do it. You have up to 8 years to complete it from start to finish. So I've always recommend to my students, try to cut one level a year. That's your par on your scorecard. And if you could do it faster than that, pat yourself on the back. And at the end of the day, what's the back end for you? I mean, opportunities. It's all about value. It's all about the value you can add going through this great curriculum and really being able to separate yourself from the average. Bottom line, that's what it is. So to just elevate yourself, and I always like to say, join that 10% club. Join that top 10% club, because we know in the industry our very best. So grind it, take it serious. It's not a job, it's a career. And I think you'll be off to a really good start. So let's get rolling and get that PGA after your name. That's where your vision is right now for sure.
All right, sounds good.
And it's time management. I mean, it's hard. You work 6 days a week. You got a social life. I understand all that. So you need to kind of lay out and write a roadmap. I'm going to complete level 1 seminar by June 1st. I'm going to test out by August 1st. I'm going to register for level 2, November. Things like that, and kind of lay it out and lay out a really good business model on what you want to accomplish. And because I can assure you one thing: when you become a PGA member, it's going to be one of your major milestones in your career. Believe me, it's one of my top for sure. So and we're here, as Meredith said so nicely. This is not just a virtual 1 hour call or whatever it is on a weekly or monthly basis. We're here to help. We've got some great support from our golf professionals in the section and the chapters. And it's all about all of you. And that's the most rewarding accomplishment, is you having a comma PGA after your name. Carlos, how about yourself, sir? How you doing? How's your season going? You're on mute, I think, Carlos. If you could just unmute your.
Yes, give me 1 sec.
Perfect. I hear you now perfectly.
Everything's good for me. Been very busy season at Springtree. I'm almost done with all my workbooks. I just need to finish up the case studies pretty much.
Great. So you've been to level 1 seminar, Carlos?
Yes, I did level 1 seminar maybe late last year, and then it's just been continuing trying to get all the workbook stuff done. It's just, for me, the hardest part for me has been like editing the videos and then inputting everything in.
Okay, got it. So why don't you call the mentor line when you get a chance? I'll give you that number and ask for Kevin Compare.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And Kevin will help you with uploading all your videos, the proper teaching and coaching assignments. And that's awesome to hear, Carlos. That's great. So get that taken care of. We have up to 30 days to review your portfolio, and then get back to you. Then you test out, and then you can go ahead and register for level 2 this summer. I think you're off to a Really
That's
good
my
stuff.
goal to get
That's
into level
awesome.
2 by June.
That's really good to hear. I think I had you in class at level 1, Carlos.
Possibly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did teaching and coaching, correct?
I did. Yes, sir.
Yep. I remember now. Yeah, I actually spoke to Eric the other day because I had a
Eric
question
Cohen.
on
Yes. Cool.
Nielsen. I believe.
Eric Nielsen. Yep. You got it.
I spoke to him the other day because I was having a hard time inputting a flyer in for player development.
You got it.
And then he helped me out with that, like just snip it and put it in through there.
Perfect. Absolutely. So you got the mentor line, and just, that's the best thing. You're struggling with something, get it done, because, turning that portfolio, it is an assessment, and but you're off to a really good start, Carlos. That's fantastic. You'll be a level.
It's just now, it's for me right now is just typing up everything, because what I did was, so after observing a lesson, I sat down with the pro, I observed, and I had him help me fill out some of the questions they asked.
Fantastic. And the focus there is really the ball flight laws. Make sure so much of the 6 ball flight laws that you emphasize that. But Kevin Compare, if you call the mentor line, is a great friend of the South Florida PGA section. Kevin's an awesome professional, and he may keep you on the phone for 6 hours. So make sure you got a few extra minutes when you give him a call. But he will take you to the finish line.
Perfect.
You let him know Bill Schiaffoletti and Meredith Chulich said to call directly to him, and he'll take extra good care of you.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Valeria, how are you doing? How's your season going? Is there any questions you have for us? How do you feel?
I feel a little bit overwhelmed with work and then all the portfolio, but you pretty much answered the questions with Carlos about the teaching and coaching, because that's the only thing I'm missing. And I'm kind of struggling on how to start start to record the videos, but I'm going to contact Kevin.
Yes.
If he can help me.
Yeah, he will absolutely help you. And I like what you just said, because you don't want to start it unless you're 100% clear about what we're asking for. So it's once you get the detailed instructions from Kevin, you'll do really, really well with it. And he'll mention to you to really emphasize on, positively altering ball flight by utilizing the 6 ball flight laws. But you feel pretty good about all the facility management assignments, all your case study assignments?
Yes, I just finished the tournament part, since we had the member. I think it was mid-January, so I just finished with all that.
Nice. And you fulfilled everything, all the requirements, pictures of scoreboards, cart signs, and everything?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
One thing I'll recommend, Valeria, one of your chapter mentors is right down the street at Plantation, went through this not very long ago. I would recommend reaching out to him, Brian Schuler, with the videos, because I know that was an area where he struggled to the uploading perspective, because I know from a technology standpoint, I know it's not something a lot of you do in your everyday lives, depending on what your role at the facility is. So that's what those mentors are there for. He's on that associate website. I'll include that in our recap email today, but reach out to them as well, as local resources. I know Dan, who is a teaching instructor at your facility as well. He obviously is very tech savvy, because I know technology is a big part of what he does as a director of instruction there at Grand Oaks. So really, I would encourage you, outside of these calls, lean on those people around you. I'll mention to Brian that we spoke, and actually, if you reach out to him, or maybe he can reach out to you, you're not the only one that struggles with this. So utilize the people around you, especially these mentors that we have asked them to help you all, and they're committed because they've all been through the process.
Perfect.
That's really great.
Well, thank you so much.
That's really great. Yeah. That's a really fun assignment. Once you figure out in your head, get the proper student, and, fulfill the instructions, it's a really, really neat assignment. You'll enjoy it for sure. Really good outcome at the end of the day. Really outstanding. And what club are you working?
I'm at Grand Oaks.
Grand Oaks. Yep. Got it. Cool.
And I think we all recognize you're at a facility that's not just busy right now, it's busy year round. So I think that all of the mentors in your chapter, I would say, are in similar positions. And as they went through it, we're in similar positions. So their understanding of helping you kind of figure out, hey, a window that will work so you can accomplish and get that part complete.
Okay, perfect.
So as far as a roadmap for yourself, so you're looking at, it's February now. So when are you looking at completing the portfolio, do you think?
Let's say by June.
Perfect. I love it.
We're still have like member guests in March and a couple more tournaments before the season slows down because it's not really over.
Yep.
So
that works out really well. And you got the summertime, you can register for level 2.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to say that level 1's more difficult than level 2, but I'm kind of saying that in a way because you've got practice, you've got experience. And especially the work experience portfolio, so much of it is your own facility as opposed to Crescent Ridge and the Summit Valley. So I think once you pass here and get to level 2, it's almost like you made the Friday night cut and now you're playing the weekend. So I think you just do a really good job with it. And I know all of you will do that. And again, we can't say it any louder, just reach out. And certainly we've got some great resources for that. So I'm really pleased with that. That's fantastic. Any questions at all with any questions at all with any of the, okay, we already talked about the tournament operations. You've done that. The case study, what we basically, the norms that we see that's maybe weak in the portfolio at level 1 would be the financial worksheets. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and just pull one of those up if you don't mind, and I'll show this to everybody. I think it'd be really advantageous to all of you. The first thing,
hey Bill, sorry, before you start, it looks like Carlos has a question.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, Carlos. Yes, sir.
Quick question on player development. I know it's off topic, but I made a flyer.
Yes.
Right, and I just input it to all those slots. As for how would I send it out through via email or constant contact list, posting it on our social media, and then like meeting people, talking to people, I put that as well. So pretty much the flyers are all the same flyers. Is that fine?
That's okay, but every one of them has a different purpose.
Correct.
So you want to make sure that you highlight that so we see that as opposed to just seeing the same 4 or 5 flyers. You may want to, are there any of them that you can modify according to the target audience? Like
so what I did is on the flyer, I put, so one of them was like public, right? How would you get people's attention? So I put open house on all of them for via email, and people who come to the restaurant, I put it flyers on our restaurant, on our dashboard that we have at Springtree. And then when people come in with their kids and talk to them about it, then I have that in there with the flyer.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. I think the thing we're looking for is how you're promoting all your different programs and which vehicles are you using. I think you've explained it very, very nicely. So be sure you emphasize that. Here's the touch points. Here's the areas that we're promoting our player development programs throughout the facility, throughout using social media or any type of technology. So you're right on, Carlos. As far as the spinning flyer, it's okay, but just emphasize the difference in your reach, which you described very, very nicely.
Perfect. So the flyers also, that was one of my confusions in player development on how to input that for reaching out to the like face-to-face conversations. So that's where I was like, I wasn't sure if I should put all the 6 photos of the same flyers. So that's where I kind of got stuck. So
yeah, I think it's important that the language is a little bit different with each one, perhaps. I mean, just showing 5 or 6 same flyers. Is there a way you can modify some of them and say this flyer is directed towards? We're going to use this on our website. This flyer we're going to use in our food and beverage operation. This flyer we're going to use. And is there a way you can just modify a little bit of the text inside the flyer? Same photos, okay, but just modify the wording a bit.
Perfect. Like I said, it has like the open house, the hours.
Okay, perfect. You got it.
Learn the basic skills of golf through June Youth Development Program, and etc.
Super. I love it. Yeah,
Perfect.
you're golden, man. And then
Thank
Eric
you.
Nielsen help you load that, and if not, you reach out to him.
Yeah, he helped me load up the flyers. I already had put
Cool.
everything in. It was
Good.
just I downloaded it. It was driving me crazy. So I downloaded the flyer through a PDF and then tried adding it, and it didn't work. And then he told me
All
to
right.
snip it, and then it
Yep.
worked perfect.
As we say, rock and roll, man. You done well. Keep it going for sure.
Perfect. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. What I like to do is I like to pull up the spreadsheet. One of the areas we see in the level 1 work experience portfolio is some of the financials, because many of us really don't have a lot of exposure to the financials. So what I want to do is just spend a couple minutes just kind of bringing this up here, and I'm just going to ask you to make sure you all see this okay. Did that come up okay? Somebody say okay, please. Can you see it?
No,
We
I don't
can't
see
see it,
anything.
Bill.
You cannot see it.
We cannot see it.
Okay. All right, let's try that again. I've only done this 5 million times. Still can't see it? Okay.
No.
Okay, we'll get it. Thank you for your patience. But you're going to see it now. If not, if you don't see it now, I'm no carding.
Bill, it's up, Bill. You're good.
Absolutely. I'm no carding if you don't see it now. Done. Just kidding. Okay, so in your portfolio objectives, you're making annual golf objectives. And the main thing I like to just share with all of you here is I just want to explain this spreadsheet, because this is one area where we'll really see some weakness in our associates. Is all the objectives are based off of the actual year 5. So for instance, this is Crescent Ridge. This is the public facility. So if one of your objectives, and it probably will be, because rounds are the most important thing in a public golf course, as you all know. So let's say you're going to increase, one of your objectives is to increase total rounds by 10% by year end. That would be a smart objective, right? Very specific, is measurable, it's achievable, it's realistic, and it's time-based. So increase total rounds by 10% by year end. And that's going to be based off of year 5. Okay, so here's a perfect example right here. So if I take 10% of 26,250, add that together, this is my revised forecast for year 6. This is what you're turning into your course owner or your board of directors. I'm saying that I'm going to do 28,875 rounds in year 6. This is Bill Shuffletti's plan. And it's a little bit of a cheat note right here, saying here's your percent change from year 5. Saying that I'm going to increase total rounds by 10% by year end. Here it is. So I really want to emphasize that. These 3 columns right here is the linear trend analysis. These 3 columns are nothing but historical data. It's telling you, professionals, how that line item has performed over the last 5 years. So for instance, if we do a linear trend on the last 5 years of total rounds at Crescent Ridge, the average percentage change was 3.35%. The average numerical change is 879. And if we didn't do anything but put our feet up and just continue on the same thing we've been doing the last 5 years, you're trending at 27,129 rounds. So the thing we see sometimes from the associates is they're taking this trend number and they're putting it into their forecast. And I'm just saying, well, why would I hire you? By doing nothing, this is what you're going to get based on 5 years of history. So the key thing again is all your objectives are based off of year 5. That's really, really important to understand, okay? As opposed to, so these columns are nothing but historical data. It's important. So what the historical data does is it helps you formulate your plan for year 6. This shaded area right here is your plan for year 6. You're going to turn this in, and this is what I feel like I'm going to do for the upcoming year. So I'm going to hush for a second. Does everybody understand that? So all your objectives, again, are based off of actual year 5. This stuff right here helps you formulate your objectives. So, and then once you get all these numbers in place, then you carry it over to the 12-month spreadsheet. And you basically take your 28,875 rounds and you break it down January through December. So it equals 28,875. The key thing to remember, very similar to South Florida, the seasonality in that part of the country in your case study is wintertime. They're the busiest in the winter. You got shoulder, and then you have summer. So I would always recommend that you go to your course manual and look at what percent of the total rounds are played in January, February, March, April, onward, and then mirror it accordingly. So that's all this basically is here, is showing the seasonality of the of your objectives. Okay. Any questions on that? Is everybody clear? Anybody cloudy on that? Because that's an area that we really see. If there's a weakness, a consistent weakness, this would be it. So let's just keep on this just for a second, if you don't mind. So we have 28,875 rounds. That's how many rounds Bill Shuffletti's turning into Meredith Schuler. I feel like this is what I'm going to play this coming year. Out of it, how many rounds out of the 28,875 are going to be weekday, weekend, and tournaments? Those 3 columns have to equal 28,875, and you're creating an assumption. You're assuming the demographic breakdown out of those 28,875 rounds, how many are male, women, and juniors? That grand total has to equal 28,875. So you're just breaking down the type of round and the demographic by gender and juniors. Okay. And then once you get to there, then you're looking at each of the line items.
Bill, can you pause and answer a question from Shane?
Absolutely. Go for it, Shane.
So you were just saying for the demographic breakdown, let's say, for instance, looking at the men, would you take the 21,524 divided by the 26,250 to see what percentage of men played in year 5, and then take that percentage out of the 28,875 to get
you got it. That's a 3-pointer. And it doesn't have to be specific. This is telling you this is what they've done in year 5. So I don't see it changing too much, Shane.
Okay.
But you're exactly right. That's a great way to do it.
Perfect.
Yep. And it doesn't have to be exactly that. If you feel like if you're going to aggressively have a really good ladies program, then you might want to spike up the woman play.
Yeah, you could say, hey, I'm going to increase, 2,600 rounds from year 5 to year 6 by increasing the women and junior programs.
Yep, you got it.
Perfect. Okay.
Perfect. Because if you remember your case studies, most of the families moving to that area are young. Most of the people moving to that area are young families.
Right.
So I would look at this. If it was my portfolio, I would definitely spike the woman and the junior play. Perfect. Because we're getting we have a different demographic coming in. So absolutely perfect question.
Thank you.
Great question. And then the weekday and weekend, I don't know if that's going to change too much. It may just a little bit. You just have to feel it out. But the key thing is just make sure that these equal the grand total. And then on a private side, what's the most important thing in a private facility for those who have Summer Valley as their case study? It's called membership, right? That's the most important. You're making your number one revenue producer is membership, right? Your number 2 revenue producer in private club is membership. It's important. Public, rounds, private, membership. So here's another objective for fun. I'm going to go ahead and increase my member tournament fees by 10% by year end. That would be a smart objective. The amount, 10% by year end. So if I did 69,545 in year 5, adding 10% to that It's going to be 69.55. Add that to 69,545. You get 76,500. There's 10%. So the key thing here in both case studies, and what you tell us you're going to do, show it on paper. And I know that sounds really basic, but it's amazing. We see portfolios saying, okay, I'm going to increase my member tournament fees by 10% by year end. This number ends up being different. It ends up being 50,000. Where did you get that from? So again, what you tell us you're going to do, this column's really good right here. Percent change from year 5, because it kind of validates. If you say you're going to increase by 10%, it gives you a checklist, basically. So that's basically just, I wanted to bring that up because that's an area where we certainly see some areas of weakness. Now, those of you who've been to the seminars, this activity worksheet's really cool. You went through it in the seminars, and it really talks a lot about the type of business that you're in, all the different activities, whether it's Crescent Ridge or Summit Valley. It's a valuable sheet. Who's your customer? Defining who your potential customer may be. Looking at what is your assets and facility information at both the public and the private facility. Who's your customer? What's the market look like? I mean, how important is the market when you're looking at formulating a plan? So I'm just kind of giving you a quick little snapshot here. Who's your competition? Your core values. What are your beliefs? Honor, integrity, sportsmanship. Welcoming, pride, things like that. And then vision. What do you see yourself in? In 5 years from now? That's kind of like the vision. And I always like to start a vision by using the powerful words to be, to be, because again, we're looking way out 5 years from now. So as opposed to a mission statement is more currently, what's your purpose? Why do you exist today? So just want to clarify that sometimes we see a mission and a vision a little bit mixed up a little bit. Again, your mission is why you exist today. What's your purpose? The vision is, what do you see yourself in 5 years? So that's kind of the difference in the two right there. The linear trend is that spreadsheet I just showed you. It shows you the last 5 years of historical data. And this is the formula for that. And again, you can find this in your activity worksheet on the front page of the portfolio of the dashboard. A SWOT analysis basically just talks about what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are your opportunities, and what are your threats. You want to list those in different areas. And all this stuff's found in the course manual. And hopefully you've taken some really good notes in your seminar. And if you haven't been to a seminar yet, certainly this is a really good worksheet. And your instructor will certainly emphasize to stay on with that for sure. So SWOT analysis, your strengths and weaknesses are internal. You control those. And at myself as a former general manager, I always challenge my staff to say, okay, where we're strong, let's maintain that strength. Where we're weak, let's take those weaknesses and let's move them up the elevator. Let's move them up to the positives. For instance, why are the member tournaments declining at the private club? So I'm going to ask all of you as my staff. So what can we do to strengthen our member tournaments so we can move our member tournaments into a strength? Is it the format? Is it the price of the events? Is it the wrong day? Is it whatever it may be? You all will be the experts at that. So that'd be a good example there. So any of your weaknesses, we have control. We have control to make those better. Where opportunities are external. It's almost where my favorite example for opportunities in South Florida would be spring training baseball. Okay? Enterprise, Marriott, restaurants, all look at that as an opportunity. They got these people coming down to watch spring training baseball, and somewhere, somehow it's going to spike their business. But they don't have total control of it. but it's in the rate. It's a radar out there and saying, boy, we're going to get a spike of residents coming down because they're going to come down for baseball. So that's an example there. So I look at an opportunity, just an example here from our case study is they had a big retail store that just closed. Wouldn't that give you an opportunity to increase your merchandise up? Probably. You got 500,000 people. You got 500,000 population. Would that be an opportunity to gain members and to gain players? You got a couple of manufacturer plants in town. You got a brand new 400 unit housing development. So these are opportunities that you get excited about, and hopefully you'll reap some benefits from it. So that's what that is. And threats are, again, these are external. Threats would be stuff like online shopping, obviously always weather, the time, the dollars to play golf, indirect and outdoor other activities. What do you want to do today? Let's go to the beach. Let's go fishing. Let's go scuba diving. Let's go water skiing. There's a lot of different obstacles. So, that be an example certainly of a threat. And then here's your objectives right here, which I just went over, showed you the spreadsheet right here. So this is an actual portfolio activity where your goal is going to be your owner, board of directors at the private facility, and your owner at the public facility is going to give you a goal. And the goal is 3 years. So they want you at the private facility to increase net equity members by 15% over the next 3 years. So you're tasked to increase your membership by 45 more members net, going from 304 to 349. Where on the public side, they want you to increase play up to 40% over the next 3 years, going from 26,250 to 36,790. How do you do that? Each year you have an objective. You work towards it. So the first year I might want to increase my rounds by 10%. Next year, probably maybe by 15%, because ultimately I got to get to 36,790 according to my boss. Or on the membership side, I may want to get 10 new members the first year. So whatever it is, but ultimately we have to keep that goal in mind. Annual goal is 3 years, vision is 5 years. And then here's how you do it. How would you do it? So just some strategies on how you would do it. Is the course conditions, whatever it may be. Loyalty programs, anything you feel like you've got a lot of experience with. So that's a really good assignment there. And then monitoring the plan is just paying attention to your business. This is where I really feel like a lot of the greatest professionals separate themselves from the average, is you work really hard on this business model. You work really hard on great objectives. Pay attention to it now. Monitor your performance. Look at it. So what happens if it's not working? What do you do about it? So here's an example here for the public facility. Here's a couple key metrics. A metric is certainly a number. So CR means Crescent Ridge and SV means the private facility. So here's some examples of key metrics. Do you want to know your percentage of gender rounds? Do you want to know your total percentage of tournament rounds? Time of the day, the percent of total rounds, things like that. Where's your business coming from, basically? And the key thing in this activity is, what are you going to monitor? How often will you monitor? Daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly? And at what percent, I'm going to repeat that, at what percent off budget will you take a corrective action to try to make up that deficit? And what is your corrective action? So I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to monitor my total rounds on a daily basis. If my rounds are off by 25 rounds a day or 40 rounds a day, whatever the number is, I already have a plan in place to try to make up that deficit. And it may be an email blast. It may be just literally just promoting the league, trying to figure out something to make up that deficit, because you always want to go to your direct report and saying, okay, I see that your rounds are down. I see that your memberships are down. What have you done about it? So that's what this activity really is good for. is you're paying attention to your business, but you're always putting together a corrective action in place instead of just be proactive and not reactive type thing. There's some great simulations in the activity. You automatically get credit for all the simulations in your deal. So I think that kind of highlights the last one I just want to go over would be your moment of truth touch points. You remember some of the cool videos that we showed in the seminars, and if you haven't been to one yet, you'll really enjoy looking at those. But moments of truths are either interactive or non-interactive. They're either positive or negative. So what's the difference? An interactive moment of truth would be you with a starter, a person, a customer interacting with a person. Where interactive, non-interactive would be absent of a person, pulling into a facility in the parking lot, the signage, dirty restrooms, clean restrooms, dirty parking lot, clean parking lot. So they're either positive or negative. And then what causes that result? Which of the three elements causes a positive or negative result? Is it staffing, training, lack of staff, wrong staff? Is it the resources? If the golf cars are dirty all the time and you don't have any soap or the hose is broken, that would be a lack of resource. That's causing a negative moment of truth. So again, it's either staffing, systems, or resources. Do you have a system in place? Do you have an actual system in place for tee time intervals? What's causing slow pace of play at your golf course? Is your system off? Are you doing 7-minute intervals where there's no way you can do it? Now you got 5.5-hour rounds. So again, that's really important. Moments of truth are extremely important to really create a good PGA experience that you would define as a PGA experience. And then the desired outcomes and interaction strategies, just understand we all are really great at relationship building. There's no other industry better than ours, in my opinion. It's just understanding the terminology here, directing that actual chart, figure 8 chart is really important for you to understand that, and understanding the interaction strategies, initial interpersonal skills. And you remember that key thing here is that really the proper terminology is the key. And you'll see that in the PowerPoint slides. There's that chart that talks about each of them. So we're good there. So I talked a lot. Any questions at all so far there? Everybody feel pretty good. Everybody kind of laid out a roadmap where they are. It sounds like certainly you have done that, which is phenomenal for sure. And again, this is not just the end of our communication. If there's anything bothering you, certainly reach out to us. Reach out to our national mentor line. Reach out to us, and certainly between the section and all of us, we're here to really help you to get to where you want to get to. So I'll hush up for a second. Is there any comments, anything on your mind you want to kind of close with, Meredith? Is there anything you want to discuss, Marty?
No, I don't have anything on my end. I would just say, I encourage you guys, as I said earlier on the call, to connect with our chapter mentors, use them as resources, continue to use us as resources. Hopefully, any feedback on these calls in between, if there's things that we're not addressing that you would like us to address, or, really anything. Our goal with this is to continue to provide you with a platform to get through the program. We understand the hurdles you all face right now this time of year with how busy you all are, but that's why we're here, to motivate, to help, to guide, and hopefully make the process, I'm not going to say easier, but, more efficient for you all.
I'm talking a lot, and, again, that's why it's being recorded. So, I've done this for nearly the last decade, so I'm chattering away and I'm making it sound like it's really easy, because this is what I do. So just, again, Meredith's recording it, play it. Hopefully the information continues onward. I promise you it's going to help you with your work experience portfolio. It's going to help you to prepare for the exam. What's the best way to prepare for the exam? Okay? Best way by all means is to take the learning outcomes at the beginning of each course manual. Okay? After each course, go to the course manual and write a paragraph on what that learning outcome says via course manual. Every single test question is based off of the learning outcomes via course manual. Quizlet, we don't monitor it. So do what you want to do, but we do not monitor Quizlet. Also on the home page of the dashboard is practice questions. We don't give you the answers. There's a couple hundred of those. That takes some time. So depending on your time situation, but I've always recommended to my students is really focus on those learning outcomes via course manual. Best way to prepare for the exam. There's for level 1, there's 2 parts to the exam. There's 125 questions for facility management, 75 for teaching and coaching, and you've got to score 70% or higher. Multiple choice and true or false. So got to go in there with a lot of confidence, be prepared. And it all starts off with really a good work experience portfolio, really showing that you've got some great knowledge, and then prepare yourself for the exam and get you to level 2 and then onward from there for sure. Absolutely.
Well, great. Well, if anybody, if no one has any further questions, again, we'll reconvene a month from today at 11 again. We'll send out a recap email. We'll include all the mentors again, just within the body of that email, so you have their information easily accessible, and hopefully we'll connect in the meantime as well. But have a great rest of the day, and we'll look forward to seeing you all soon. Thank you, Bill and Marty, as always.
Absolutely. And if anything on your mind, just fire an email to Meredith and myself, and we'll get back to you. Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Sure. Good luck to you.
Enjoy the rest of your week.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You all do the same. Thank you.